All right. Yeah, we'll just see how it works. I have the phone recording, and we'll just do that, and I don't know. We'll just go from there. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know any other way. Yeah. Alrighty. So, do you guys want to start with the first thing? Alright, so I had the first, so I was person A, leaving poverty behind. According to this article's description of analyzing how do we see power being wielded in children's book you read this week, choose either the text collection of poetry or realistic fiction from the article to discuss with your group. How does this connect to Angel City? So, first of all, according to the article's description of analyzing and how we see power being wielded in children's book we read is that when we're reading books that are either fantasy or realistic fiction, we really need to. I mean, the books that are written in a form that is the way that the way lives were being lived, not the way books were written. So like basically what I understood from that was that they were perceived as stories that actually happened, but with some made up things around it, like some made up things that were not maybe true or that are fantasy and things like that. But there are things that are actually happening in our society and things like that. So that's kind of what I got from the article of Leaving Poverty. And then the second question of like choosing realistic fiction or poetry. I chose realistic fiction to talk about how it related to and connected to Angel City. Angel City was one of the videos that we had to see for one of the books that she read out loud. Did you guys see those? Yeah. Well, I felt like it was a really good book that showed us how poverty is um, in certain parts in areas of the United States. Like it talks about how I don't remember his name, but the little boy, he was raised by a black male, and he like ever since he was growing up, the old man, he already had this in his mind that the world was going to be hard, and he lived in this place where something was going to happen sooner or later, and so he just already had these thoughts in his mind because of the place they lived. So um, it's like the article was saying that it has like, even though, because at the end, if you listen to the end, it says how this didn't really happen to specifically that ethnicity, ethnicities, because it wasn't really Hispanic and African American. It was I think Korean and another person. It just this book really shows you the societal issues that are the place we live in, which is the U.S., how they affect a child in poverty. So yeah, and that's basically it. And then yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like the good Lord, and so I thought life was a metaphor in this case, just like how it changed throughout the book and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What metaphors do you guys think of?
I think that the Egypt in the House of Cards were a metaphor for like
slaves.
Like I guess you wouldn't call it like illegal immigrants, but like undocumented immigrants, just from how they were treated and looked at. You guys hear me?
Yeah. The audio's weird.
Yeah.
I can hear you guys both.
Okay.
I'm just hearing. But I can.
I know. I hear an echo too.
Hmm?
Do you hear an echo?
I don't hear any echo. No. Is it maybe because
I hear it, but
I don't know. Is it too loud?
I think so.
Here.
It's like really bad.
Is it better?
Yeah, so much better.
Okay.
Oh no.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess just keep going.
Yeah.
It probably hear an echo.
I don't hear anything. It might be me because I took off my headphones off, but because I wanted the video to be able to hear you guys.
Oh yeah, it's okay.
Are you guys fine with it? Sure?
Yeah, it's just weird, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so I thought that the Egypt and the House of Scorpion, they kind of represented more mirrored how he read it or how he documented it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, for sure. So you said like the egots would be what we know as like the illegal immigrants working at like farm.
Yeah, like migrant.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's.
But I felt he portrayed it in like a harsher.
Yeah.
Like, because they were breaking down. You know what I mean? Like they portrayed them.
Yeah.
It made me really uncomfortable because they were pretty much just there to work.
Yeah.
And like do nothing else.
No, for sure. Well, I mean, I feel like that is. I agree with it because if you guys remember the book Esperanza Rising, and you know how how when she got to the U.S., that's basically all they did. That was their life, like just picking, going back to work, coming back home, going back, getting some water, and I feel like it's relevant to compare those two. I also think how like the book The House of Scorpions also showed like social class, like in every aspect, like the egots were like really like the poor and things like that, and then like for me the middle class and what I feel like was the middle class was like Cecilia, the Matt's like mom kind of thing. Yeah, the servant and like and the clone himself as the Matt, because I feel like he saw all these wrong things happening, and it's like in the middle class, we see all these things that happen and the injustices and things like that, and there's like really nothing he can do because of the power that the rich have. So they have so much power that they don't listen to us, or they don't listen to him, and they could just make him like he was just here for one reason. Like I can think of like doctors are used to cure people and that's it, even though they can be like even because if you guys saw the video on how our wealth is divided in our country,
Yeah.
and how it was disproportionate, and how it was basically the 1%. You know, it's like it doesn't necessarily have to be the doctor or the stuff. Like the doctors are even like the middle class, what you would call the middle class, and I feel like the clone and all those things were like they portrayed that middle class where they were just used for what they knew and what they did, but really had no other, I don't know, duty kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really. I never thought of Celia being in the middle class just because I always thought she was like in the lower.
Mhm.
But I never even thought of being like the people who were. I forget what this term is called when they take away the break.
Sorry.
I forget that term. It's like take away your break. I forget the term
When they
because they like made him like really dead, and I can't remember the term. But I never like installed them as part of the class system,
yeah
which is like crazy because they're totally part of that
yeah
community.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah for sure.
I don't know. I still feel Celia was like part of the boat, just because she wasn't able to like make any because she was El Patron's property.
Yeah. No, but like
No, but
even
no,
the
like,
clone was.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No. I know, I get it. The reason why I say she was middle class was because she still, even though she was, because everyone was the patron's what do you call it? He owned them, you know, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they like Celia and the bodyguards and stuff, they had a little bit more choice, like they had a little bit more freedom, like they didn't really, like they had to obey him and they had to keep his orders because they were afraid to go back to where they were from because the police were looking for them or whatever, but I just feel like they, yeah, I don't know.
No, I think it's like my perspective because I'm used to being middle class in real life, not in this world that doesn't exist. So
Yeah.
I'm comparing middle class to this to that book, and that was just really interesting when you did that out because I never thought about that.
Makes sense.
Is Cordell, does the audio still sound like echoey?
Yeah, I feel
I
like
know. I hate it.
Here, let me see.
You don't hear any echo, Javier?
No, not at all. I like I said, I think it's me. Let me see. Hold on. Let me experiment. How about now? Is it echoey? Yeah, it's because, yeah, I put my headphones on and I think that's it. But then I can't hear, my phone can't hear you guys. Yeah. Okay, we'll just go like this. We'll just hopefully it'll save, and then we'll just tell her that, I don't know, we had troubleshoot issues or whatever, or we just don't say anything and we'll just be like, I thought we were able to hear it, huh? Okay, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because it said on the Zoom thing, it said like, do I want to keep a recording while the meeting was on, and I pressed yes, so hopefully it does. Okay. All right. So I don't. I don't think I answered that question. I did. Uh, so I don't know. I guess I was a little confused about that question. And I think that's why I didn't answer it. But because I remember because I don't know, but I felt like there was another video that it talked about this, but from what I remember, like in the way it keeps on with the dominant culture, is like, you know how, for example, the privileges that one has, like for example, we're minorities, right? And so we are less privileged than, you know, the white people, right? And then in some books it talks about like cutting this issue of, you know, in these books that we just like these type of books of multicultural books, we learn from different cultures so that we can close that gap of like mis stereotypes and misunderstandings and things like that, so that we can really like get to know each other's cultures. And then like I feel like when that we keep going with the mainstream culture and things like that, because even though like there still exists, the man is still like the portrayed as the, you know, like breadwinner kind of thing, and the person that makes decisions. And in some of the books, like they're still like the women are still demeanored and things like that. So that's how I feel. That's how I understood it. That we keep with that dominant culture. I'm not sure if I misunderstood that question, and that's why I don't know. Mhm. 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 Makes sense. Yeah, yeah. That's that. Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Mhm. Oh. Mhm. 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 agree. Yeah, because even like, um, even Mateo, Matt, the clone, he, you know how when he died and everything, he was still feeling bad for El Patron because he believed that what he did was okay, kind of thing. Like he felt like it wasn't like he knew it was bad because of what he was doing to the people, but he knew that the Patron had gone through some things too, so he felt like it was okay. So like it kind of like his the story of El Patron kind of made people, I feel like made people believe that he was in his right to treat and to do the things that he was doing. I feel like, I don't know, and I think that's why they oppressed the people, and yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I sure mentioned so. Yeah, what was it? So you said, how can you identify the mainstream story to the? Got it. Was that two questions or one question? Two questions in one. Okay. Oh yeah, with like nuts or something like that. When he was in the prison or whatever with Rosa. Rosa had him. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Cause it was an animal. Yeah, cause he treated him like an animal. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. I agree. I really agree. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. You know, I didn't see that perspective because, yeah, I didn't think he was a good guy either. But yeah, that makes sense. Like he just, I feel like he always was like shadowing this person. No, I mean, yeah, he got better just because he, like he was making things better. But I feel like the only reason why he changed was because of Celia. Celia was a good person. Like Celia made everything I feel possible because she knew his story, and he knew that he had already this was the eighth clone, and he was going to be for her she said he had enough, like it was enough suffering from the clones and things like that. So I mean I just felt, I mean, yeah, I understand your point yeah, I mean I guess Tamlin never like because of the bombing, because I'm kind of trying to go back to the bombing that he bombed 20 kids or whatever, but yeah, I know, but he still tried to kill somebody. I don't know, huh? True, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, no. I feel like he was a good person over after all because he helped them and he made him a better person. Because I remember that scene where Matt would forced Maria to kiss him, and he was like, "Don't do it." Like he was trying to like get him to not be that kind of person. So I mean, I really understand that. I mean, no, I agree that he was a good person afterwards, and I think he was overall. Maybe I just didn't see. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't pay attention too much that it was an accident. But yeah. Well, I wrote. You guys kind of cover everything I had to say, so I'm good. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. For sure. No. Um, yeah. No, it makes sense. My mirror, it came from both books, but I feel, I mean, the House of Scorpions was just like, it's kind of like a repeat of what Esperanza Rising brought to me, like the memories and just what my family had to go through, being immigrants and things like that. So I won't go too much in detail with that. But I think the mirror, different kind of mirror, was Angel City. the little boy and how he experienced the death of his best friend. You know, he was like they were just playing, and then all of a sudden somebody pulls out a gun and kills his little friend, that his best friend that he had. You know, and I didn't have a similar thing where somebody died, but I just remember that, and the reason why it's my mirror is because it when that incident happened, I felt like in the book it was like it was like expected. Like it's not something that was like super surprising that, you know, there was a gun, somebody that fired some guns and just came to like a, you know, pretty rich boy or girl town or something like that and shot up a, you know, a mansion, stuff like that. So they were in a town where it was, you know, bad, poverty was low and stuff like that. So like I felt like they didn't really, like it wasn't like I said, it wasn't like something that it was unexpected. It was like expected, and then that I can relate to that because of how I remember when I used to live in Chicago. When I went back to Chicago because I mean I lived there when I was younger, and I don't remember too much about it. But I remember when I went back to college down there. I remember my uncles, and because I had to travel to the university, like I didn't live in campus. I had to go on a bus and take the bus to the campus. And I remember they always told me, you know, you can't go through this part of the place and stuff like that. And so I not accidentally, but I guess I took the shortcut or whatever, and then I was in the middle of a gunfire or whatever, and it just like made me realize how it was expected. Like I expected that to happen because of where I was at the time. So that's why it was my mirror. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. That's the reason why we came down here to Washington, and so, yeah, no, it's bad. Like, it's rarely where you don't hear like a gunshot outside or stuff like that. And so I mean, it's bad, but yeah, and there's certain areas where it's worse, but in the place where we were, it wasn't so bad, but there's like little alleys. Here in Washington, we don't have so many alleys. I don't know if you even know what that means, alleys. Have you guys ever heard about them? Yeah. 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 No, no, because like houses over here. Yeah, because it's a city, and then all houses are super together, and then there's a back alley to go. You know, well, anyway, but over there's like the alleys are like the danger. Even daylight, it doesn't matter where daylight and night, because it's so lonely in the alleys. You know, there's barely any people, and so I had to take the shortcut because I was running late for a practice, and that was the only shortcut. And the only time that I decided to take a shortcut, it was bad, but it was like I said, it was expected because you know any day could happen. And yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so I guess you guys know what alleys mean. Or what alleys are. Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't have anything right now. Like, really. Yeah. Yep. My window came from the book The Stranger in the Mirror. It was another of those read alouds Joey did for fantasy, specifically. And specifically, it was the grandpa, the old man, that was my window because he. Well, yeah, the little kid grandpa. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, yeah. Well, cause in the beginning of the story, like, or I don't know if Joy, it was in the story or Joy just said it, like, of how, when you think about grandparents, some cultures tend to like send them to family homes or things like that, and then they just forget about them. So it just made me really realize like the like how we never really see the perspectives of older people. We always just think about them as the knowledge and as like old history kind of thing, and then we forget about them, and we just kind of like, well, at least for me, I just never really thought about how they must feel, and because the little boy experienced it like even though it was in a school setting with the children, like it just made me realize how society pushes the old people aside, and they don't really care for them, and that's why like social security is becoming a big problem, and they don't want to give them as much as before, and they're they don't want them to retire until later age and things like that. So it just gave me a really like glimpse of how grandparents must feel, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, and I bet you that's how, grandparents feel, or not grandparents, people that are old must feel, that's how they must feel, that, they're still the same, old, young person that used to be. They just look older. So I don't know. It really just gave me a big window where I can see, how sad it can be being older. Yeah. It's been a while. Yeah, in the phone I have it as 48. So. Okay. Yeah. Mhm. Or how it is. I feel like it is already. I don't know. I don't know. I when I was writing through this whole thing, and then I saw that video of I saw the video. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Give me a second. Yeah, baby, vente, 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 vente. Dulce. I'll be right back. Ya casi termino. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'll tell you in a little bit. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Sorry, I got the question. I wrote it down. I came back at the right time, so. Alright. Yeah. And I forgot what I was saying, so. And it's okay. We already did past time, so it's good. We're good. When do you guys want to meet next week? Okay, we can meet earlier. I don't mind. Um, do you yeah? Do you want to? Cause it's the last one, right? I think. Do you guys want to do it through this medium, or do you guys want to meet up for the last one? If this works, then we can do it again like this, I guess. But yeah. Alrighty then. Cool. We'll do it like that. Alright. Okay. Shoot for Thursday then. And I think the book. Yeah. Alright. Alrighty, bye guys.